welcome to the deep dive. And hey, specifically, welcome to Chat Like a Native. Today, we're diving into something I think we've all probably experienced in English conversations. Just think about it for a second. Do you ever find yourself saying sorry?
Mm.
Well, kind of. A lot.
Oh, definitely.
Like maybe you bump into someone just slightly and out comes sorry.
Mm.
Or someone thanks you for something really small and you say sorry.
Yep, I hear that all the time.
And this is the funny one, even when someone apologizes to you, sometimes you just automatically say sorry back.
It's incredibly common, isn't it? Sorry is often one of the first, polite words people learn, so it feels safe, like a default setting.
Totally. It's like that comfort blanket word you just grab.
Yeah.
But like leaning on it too much.
Yeah.
That can actually make conversations feel a little
Oh.
off, a bit awkward sometimes.
Or it can unintentionally chip away at how confident you sound.
Exactly. It's not always the smoothest way to respond,
And, the thing is, when you use it for everything, it kind of loses its punch.
Loses its power.
Yeah, for when you really need to apologize genuinely. It's like crying wolf with politeness, maybe.
Right. Okay, so the mission for this deep dive then is to move past that automatic sorry reflex.
Mm-hmm.
We've looked at some really useful insights that give us 5 simple, really quite powerful, polite replies you can use instead of sorry in different spots.
And these aren't complicated phrases or anything?
No, not at all. They're practical tools you can pick up right now, instantly, to help you sound more comfortable, more natural, basically helping you chat more like a native speaker.
Think of it as upgrading your conversational toolkit.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Sorry is a great tool, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you need a wrench, sometimes a screwdriver. You can't just always reach for the hammer for every single job.
Okay, so let's open that toolkit. I'm ready. Let's see what we've got.
So I guess at its heart, the issue isn't really that sorry is bad, right? I mean, it's essential for genuine apologies.
Absolutely essential. The problem is using it on autopilot for things that aren't really mistakes or, don't need an apology at all.
And what's interesting there is the subtle message that overuse sends.
Okay.
When you're constantly apologizing, even for just taking a moment to think or asking a simple question, it can kind of project a lack of confidence. It's almost like you're apologizing for just existing in the conversation space.
Oh, that's a really good way to put it. Apologizing for taking up space. I can totally see that now. It can make the whole interaction feel kind of hesitant.
Exactly. And having a range of polite expressions, it doesn't just show better language command. It also shows greater social confidence. It signals you understand the nuances, the sort of unwritten rules of different situations.
Okay, right. I'm definitely ready for those alternatives now. What's the first one we should grab from the toolkit?
Okay, first step is, excuse me.
Ah, the classic.
Yeah. This is your go-to for getting someone's attention or for politely interrupting.
It's like when you need to squeeze past someone in a crowd, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Perfect example. But it's also what you'd say before you jump into a conversation that's already happening.
Oh.
Whether you're asking a question or you want to add a thought.
So let's say I'm in a meeting and I didn't quite hear something. Instead of, sorry, what was that? I could say,
you could totally say, excuse me, could you repeat that? Or maybe, excuse me, I didn't quite catch that last part. Ooh, it's just a polite signal. Hey, I need your attention for a sec, please.
Right. Or if I need to ask a stranger something, like for directions on the street.
Ideal situation for, excuse me, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the library? It just smooths the way into that interaction with someone you don't know, shows respect for their time before you make your request.
Got it. Okay. So, excuse me, is more about managing attention and physical space, not for apologizing for an actual mistake.
Exactly.
What's next then? Tool number 2.
Number 2 is pardon me.
Pardon me.
Okay. Now this one is quite similar to, excuse me, especially in that situation where you didn't hear something clearly, but it often carries a slightly more, formal tone perhaps?
More formal, like maybe if I'm talking to my boss versus, say, my best friend.
Potentially, yeah. You might hear, pardon me, as a polite way to ask someone to repeat themselves, especially in slightly more formal settings. Pardon me, I didn't quite hear what you said.
Okay, so if someone kind of mumbles something, instead of just, sorry, it's pardon me, it does sound a bit more elegant. Is that the right word?
Maybe elegant. Or perhaps just a touch more traditional or formal, yeah. The insights we looked at also mentioned it can be used for really minor accidental disruptions, almost like a very light, quick apology substitute.
Like what?
Like if you accidentally cough while someone else is talking, you might just quickly say, "Pardon me."
Oh, interesting. So it kind of bridges both worlds, not hearing something, and a very, very minor, almost non-impactful mistake.
Right.
It feels like a softer version of sorry for those tiny little moments.
Exactly that. It acknowledges a tiny interruption without the whole weight of a full "I'm sorry."
All right, cool. Tool number 3.
Okay, this one is super useful. No problem.
No problem. Yeah, I use that one.
It's incredibly useful, especially when someone is thanking you.
So like a more casual, you're welcome.
Very much so, yeah. If someone says, "Hey, thanks for helping me with this," responding "no problem" is very natural, very friendly. Yeah. It implies that whatever you did was easy or, not a big deal for you.
Yeah, it definitely feels much more relaxed than saying you're welcome sometimes. Feels less stiff.
It absolutely does. And here's a really key place. It replaces sorry.
Okay.
When someone apologizes to you for something minor.
Oh, right. Like if my friend is running a couple minutes late and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late."
Yes. Perfect situation. A great response is, "No problem at all. Come on in." Or just, "No problem." It's just so much warmer, right? More welcoming than just saying, "Okay," or that confusing default sorry back at them.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
No problem shows you weren't really inconvenienced or that it's genuinely fine.
That's a fantastic one. Okay. It immediately just, diffuses any potential awkwardness, just moves the conversation forward positively. No problem. Feels genuinely forgiving there.
It really does. It creates a smooth, easy exchange, which is, a big part of natural conversation flow.
On to number 4 then.
Number 4 is, "It's okay."
It's okay.
This phrase really excels at offering reassurance when someone apologizes to you.
Reassurance, like making them feel better about it.
Precisely. When someone has made a mistake, even a small one, and they apologize, saying "it's okay," clearly signals that you accept their apology, and crucially, that they don't need to keep worrying or feeling bad about it.
So if someone, I don't know, spills a little coffee on the table and says, "Oh no, I'm so sorry,"
you'd immediately jump in with, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, we can clean it up."
Yeah.
See how much more comforting that is than just sort of nodding.
Yeah, much better.
It explicitly states that the situation is acceptable from your point of view.
And it probably works for slightly bigger things too, right? Not just spill coffee. Maybe like a missed deadline at work.
Yeah, the sources mention that too. If a colleague says, "Look, I'm really sorry I didn't get that report to you yesterday," responding, "It's okay, I know you've been really busy," signals you understand, and it kind of releases them from that immediate stress or guilt.
Okay. Yeah. So "it's okay" is basically saying, I accept this thing that happened. You are not in trouble with me. You can relax now.
Exactly right. It's all about putting the other person at ease, which is, a very genuine kind of politeness.
Makes sense. Okay, and the final tool in our kit, number 5.
That would be, "That's all right."
That's all right. Okay.
This one is very, very close in meaning to "it's okay." Often they're pretty much interchangeable. It also serves to reassure someone and just smooth things over after an apology.
So also for when someone apologizes to you.
Yep. If someone says, "Sorry for the wait," the really common and natural response is, "That's all right." It signals, the wait was acceptable or it didn't bother you significantly.
Or what if there was a minor misunderstanding?
Perfect use case. Someone says, "Oh, sorry, I misunderstood the instructions."
Yeah.
Response, "That's all right. Let's just clarify it now." See, it helps move past the apology bit really quickly and get straight to fixing the issue.
It really sounds like "that's all right" and "it's okay" are basically twins for accepting apologies.
They are very close, yes. Both are excellent ways to respond when someone apologizes to you. And they directly replace that illogical instinct maybe you have to say sorry back at them.
Right.
Choosing either "it's okay" or "that's all right" shows you acknowledge their apology, and you're dismissing the need for them to feel excessive guilt or concern.
So instead of getting stuck in that weird loop where someone says sorry and then you say sorry back.
Yeah, that awkward dance.
You can just break it cleanly with "it's okay" or "that's all right."
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense.
Absolutely. You're actively guiding the conversation away from that potential awkwardness of mutual unnecessary apologizing.
Okay, wow. So just to recap quickly, our 5 alternatives to kind of break that sorry habit are, for getting attention or interrupting politely.
Right.
Pardon me. As a slightly more formal version of that, Or for not hearing something.
Mm.
No problem. For responding to thanks or dismissing those really minor apologies.
Yeah.
And then, it's okay and that's all right. For reassuring people who are genuinely apologizing to you.
Mastering those five gives you so much more flexibility, doesn't it? And authenticity in your interactions.
Okay, but knowing the phrases is one thing.
Yeah.
Using them effectively is another. How do we make sure we're, doing it right? What are the key things to remember?
Well, the key insights really point to three main things. First, and this is maybe obvious, be aware of context.
Context is everything, right?
Yeah.
Always. Who you're talking to, where you are.
Exactly. You'd use, excuse me, to politely interrupt a formal presentation, maybe to ask a question at the end, but you wouldn't use it's okay in that specific moment, right? It wouldn't fit.
Oh.
And conversely, it's okay is perfect for your friend who apologizes for spilling a drink.
Right.
But you probably wouldn't yell, "Pardon me," to get your friend's attention across a noisy, crowded room. You just shout their name or wave.
Yeah, good point. So really think about the relationship and the setting. Makes sense. What's the next tip?
Number 2, use the right tone. This is absolutely crucial.
Tone of voice.
Yes. The words themselves only carry what part of the message? How you say them matters just as much, maybe even more sometimes.
Like saying no problem really flatly versus saying it with some warmth.
Exactly. A flat, monotone, no problem can easily sound sarcastic.
Ooh, yeah, like you're actually bothered.
Precisely. But a warm, friendly tone makes it sound genuinely easygoing, which is usually the intent. Similarly, your "it's okay" should sound genuinely reassuring, not like you're sort of grudgingly accepting through gritted teeth.
Okay, so make sure your voice actually matches the meaning you want to convey, that politeness, that sincerity.
Exactly right. Which leads perfectly into the third tip, be genuine.
Be genuine. So don't say it's okay if you're actually, secretly furious about the spilled coffee.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. Don't be fake. But maybe more importantly here, it's about using these phrases because they genuinely fit the situation better than your habitual sorry.
I see.
If someone bumps into you and they apologize, saying that's all right or no problem feels genuine because you are accepting their apology, you are confirming it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
Saying sorry back in that moment feels unnatural, right?
It's confusing because you weren't the one at fault.
Yeah, it really is. It's about matching your words to the reality of the interaction, not just defaulting to a word out of habit. And by consciously choosing these more appropriate responses, you don't just navigate conversations more smoothly, you also project more confidence in your language skills. You're showing, intentionality with your words. You're choosing them carefully.
This deep dive has really highlighted how just a small shift in vocabulary, just these 5 phrases, can make a huge difference in sounding more natural and, confident. Replacing those unnecessary sorries with "excuse me, pardon me, no problem, it's okay," or "that's all right," can completely change the feel of an interaction.
Mm-hmm. And just remembering to pick the right phrase for the context, using an appropriate warm tone and being genuine about it, those are the keys to making these alternatives feel natural for you.
And using them helps you feel less self-conscious too, I think, because you're choosing better words for the actual situation. It just makes your English interactions smoother, more authentic.
Yeah, it empowers you to communicate politeness effectively without sort of diluting the impact of your words or unintentionally sounding hesitant all the time.
So here's a thought maybe to carry with you from this deep dive today. As you go through your day, try to notice those situations where you might usually just say sorry out of habit. And then think, how might consciously choosing one of these alternative phrases instead, like no problem when someone thanks you, or it's okay when someone apologizes to you, how might that change the dynamic of that specific conversation? Could you maybe identify one situation where you'll try this out today?
Yeah, pay attention to how using a different phrase actually feels to you when you say it. And maybe notice how the other person reacts too. It can be quite revealing, actually.
Even an experiment.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive on Chat Like a Native.
See you next time.
We'll catch you next time.